Hey guys, YouTube War 100 here, and this is a subject that I've actually thought about for a while now. This is just going to be about wrestlers that were, like, that always jump ship shows, all of us during the brand split. Because, yeah, I mean, just over the years in the WWE, ever since when they started the brand split in 2002, there were just like a bunch of wrestlers that just kept jump shipping shows. Like someone went from SmackDown to Raw and back to SmackDown and to Raw, and then when they brought ECW in 2006, a wrestler like went to ECW. Yeah, I mean there were just like a bunch of wrestlers that just kept jump shipping shows from like Raw to SmackDown and back to Raw, and yeah, they just kept going like back and forth to different shows. Yeah, I'm just gonna give some examples of some wrestlers that were really guilty of doing this. Yeah, I mean, some people they didn't do it as often. Like, they just sometimes just went to Raw, then they went to SmackDown, and then just like came back to Raw and just did it that one time, like a few times, and didn't like always do it. But yeah, there were also people that just did it like all the time. Just like they were just like, make up your mind on what show you're gonna be on already. Let me just Yeah, so yeah, some examples of some people that are really guilty of doing this. Yeah, Chris Benoit really did this a lot. Like I said, this is just gonna be like a timeline. I'm starting from 2002 when the brand split started. So yeah, in 2002, well, Chris Benoit was drafted to SmackDown, but it was still while he was is recovering from his broken neck. Yeah. So yeah, he didn't come back right away, and then when he did finally come back, he actually came back to Raw just like a fan of the show, and then yeah, he then started to just start appearing on Raw, like as one of Ric Flair's sidekicks or whatever. And then yeah, they were still saying was actual he was really technically a SmackDown star, but yeah, he just kept appearing on Raw, and then yeah, he just then ended up like staying on Raw, and then he eventually did jump to SmackDown in the summer of 2002. Yeah, and then yeah, after he won the Royal Rumble in 2004, he then jumped ship to Raw the next night. Yeah, and then in 2005, during the draft lottery, he was one of the draft picks back to SmackDown. And yeah, and then in 2007, he got drafted to ECW. So yeah, I mean, he always was like going from show to show to show. Yeah. And yeah, Edge is kind of guilty of this too. Yeah, because Edge was drafted to SmackDown in 2002. And then in 2004 he got drafted to Raw. Then in 2007, Evan he appeared on SmackDown when he cashed in Money in the Bank on Undertaker and won the World Heavyweight title. And then in 2010 he was drafted to Raw again. And then he eventually got traded back to SmackDown. Yeah, so Edge was like jump shipping shows all the time too. And yeah, and even Triple H has done this quite a lot too. Yeah, I remember in 2002 when the brand split started, he was actually Undisputed Champion. And then yeah, once he lost it, he then was a part of SmackDown. And then at Vengeance 2002, he made the decision to go to Raw. And then in 2004, Triple H was drafted to SmackDown. And then yeah, he was traded back to Raw right away afterwards. Then in 2008, he got drafted to SmackDown again. And then in 2009, he was drafted to Raw. So yeah, I mean Triple H is just like he always yeah he just was jump shipping shows a lot too. And yeah, what was the and if he was traded back to Raw in 2004, I mean what was the point when of him being even drafted to SmackDown on that time? Yeah. And let's see. And yeah, Batista's done this a lot too. I remember when he first debuted, when he was with Reverend Devon, he was on SmackDown. And then yeah, he then eventually went to Raw. Then in 2005, he got drafted to SmackDown. And then in 2008, he got drafted back to Raw. And then in 2009, he just went to SmackDown. And yeah, right after he won the WWE title from John Cena at Elimination Chamber in 2010, he then was back at Raw. So yeah, Batista has done a lot too, and Randy Orton has also done it a lot. Yeah, I mean, Randy Orton, I remember when he first came to WWE, he was on SmackDown, and then he eventually went to Raw. Then in 2005, he was part of the draft, and he went to SmackDown again. And then his contract then expired, and he went back to Raw. And then in 2011, he was drafted to SmackDown again. Yeah. Yeah. And even Matt Hardy has also done this a lot. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I remember Matt Hardy in 2002, he was drafted to Raw. Uh, then he eventually went to SmackDown in 2002. And then was it 2000? Yeah, I think it was 2003. Matt Hardy then just went back to Raw. Uh, yeah, and then yeah, there was the part time in 2004 where he got released, and then yeah, he got rehired and he was back at Raw. And then when he lost the Loser Leaves Raw match to Edge, he ended up going back to SmackDown. And then yeah, in 2008, Matt Hardy got drafted to ECW. And then 2009, he was drafted to Raw. And then yeah, he eventually then went to SmackDown again. So yeah, Matt Hardy really was jump shipping shows a lot too. And yeah, I'm probably like yeah, and there's probably like a ton more I could say. Yeah, and even yeah, like the Great Khali, he did a few times. Yeah, I remember when he first came to WWE in 2006, it was on SmackDown. Then he eventually went to ECW, and then he eventually went to Raw. And then in 2007, he was part of the draft, and he got drafted to SmackDown again. So yeah, the Great Khali has kind of switched shows quite a few times also. So, and yeah, I mean, I could probably just go on about other people that have done this. This like always jump shipping the shows. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, Big Show. Big Show's also done it sometimes too. Yeah, I remember 2002 he was drafted to Raw, and then during the fall of 2002, I think it was October, he jumped ship to SmackDown. And then in 2005, he got drafted to Raw. Uh, and then in 2006, he defected to ECW. Then, yeah, he eventually got released, and then once he came back in 2008, he was. I remember during his time with Floyd Mayweather, I think he was, I think, a part of Raw, and then afterwards he was then a part of SmackDown. Then in 2009, Big Show got drafted to Raw, and then Big Show then went to SmackDown, and again, and then in 2011, and then Big Show got drafted to Raw again. So yeah, I mean, Big Show was like flopping between shows also. Yeah, and even yeah, Kane has done it quite a lot too. Yeah, I remember Kane got drafted to Raw in 2002, and he stayed on Raw actually for quite a while until was it 2006 or 2007 when he was forced to leave Raw and he went to SmackDown. Then in 2008, Kane got well. 2008, after Kane won the ECW Championship from Chavo Guerrero, he then went to ECW. Yeah, and then he got drafted to Raw on 2008. And then yeah, in 2009 he got drafted to SmackDown. And yeah, yeah, I mean that's just happened a lot with Kane too. And yeah, I could, like I said, I could probably just go on forever about how many people that are guilty of doing this. Yeah, yes. So yeah, but yeah, it's just there's a bunch of people that have done this before. Yeah, and yeah. If yeah, if there's anyone that you know that is like guilty of doing this, that was always jumping shows between like Raw, SmackDown, back to Raw, and then the ECW when it came along. Yeah, you can leave them in the comments. So yeah, but yeah, this is just yeah. I mean, they people really need to like actually make up their mind on what show they wanted to be on. Yeah, I mean it's so in a way I'm kind of glad they decided to end the brand split. The brand split because yeah, I mean what difference does it make on who was on what show? Because yeah, they were always just jumping shows anyway. So alright, so yeah. Yeah, that pretty much does it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, so yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.